What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Cap Social Network, also known as Capri Social Network. So, in today's video, I wanted to not only show a clip, but talk about this particular clip. And this on behalf of a beautiful sister who happens to be no younger than around 47 years old. In this clip, which is a very short clip, and on behalf of TikTok again, she suggests that women need to start selling for them a corny brother. And a lot of you sisters, black women, are so obsessed with the Pookies, the Nuck Nucks, and the Ray Rays to the extent whereas it almost seems like it's no hope at all for the brother you consider as corny, as lame. Yet and still, which I never be able to fathom, you same sisters who will be caught when a brother who you may consider as corny will go for that white brother that's corny, as all outdoors, even may go out of his ways to tell jokes to y'all that may not be funny at all, may be some of the corniest jokes ever. He may dress like a straight up nerd, have no swag at all, but yet and still you won't dog him out like you do or would your very own black brothers that's corny. And I could relate to being a corny brother myself, so-called corny brother myself, by me not having a criminal record for the most part. Because it seems, am I right or wrong, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have a criminal record in the African American community, in most instances, you're looked at as a straight up cornball, a lame, or if you don't have any, also you don't have any kind of street credibility. In other words, if you don't know anything about the latest street terminology or terms they use nowadays, if not that, if you don't own a pistol or has never ever shot a pistol before, never indulged in smoking, specifically weed, or doing any other kind of drugs, illicit drugs, never ever has drunk or drank alcohol, excuse me, in most cases in the African American community, you're not considered cool. But let you be a person that's the opposite race, whether you may be either white, Middle Eastern, Asian, Hispanic, you still could somehow, and I always have considered this as strange, be accepted for the most part in the African American community, because let you be either a white, once again, Middle Eastern, Hispanic, or Asian brother who happens to be dating a black woman and get invited to the family cookout of either one of those nationalities or brothers who doesn't identify as being hood. You, in most instances, you will still get accepted into the family. But if you're a brother, a black dude who happens to be a straight up cornball, who doesn't fit the description of examples that I just named, in most cases, her female relatives will try all they can to try to persuade her, convince her, motivate her to dump you, to just straight up kick you to the curb, so to speak, just because you may not be a person who's hood by the likes of, once again, either a Pookie, a Ray Ray, a Nuck Nuck, or a Dirty D Rodney. And for some of you who could be able to catch my drift, you know exactly what I mean by the D part. Anyways, and without further ado, I wanted to show this clip on behalf of this beautiful sister who's suggesting and recommending for other sisters to indulge or invest in them quote-unquote corny dude. Once again, this clip is not long at all. So if you bear with me, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be glad to have the awesome privilege to show you this clip. Anyways,
Ladies, y'all are wearing me out. Let's talk about corny men and not corny men, okay? Leave these bad boys alone. You don't want them. They might be fun when you're young. They don't work. They want to party all the time. They want to do drugs. They want to smoke. They want to hustle. Leave them alone. This is the year to get a corny man, okay? We're moving on. That's the new groove. If you corny, you are for me. Russell Wilson. Think like that. You want a man that want to go to school, want to study, want to have a steady job. Because let me tell you something, okay? You're going to look up in that corny dude who was working a 9 to 5, going to school and all that stuff. You're going to look up and 10 years later, he going to own the store. He going to own the McDonald's. He going to have his doctor's degree. He going to have whatever else. And you done passed up on him when you was young and fine and kidless, playing with the hustlers, okay? And he going to be married to somebody else looking at you crazy like, no, he don't want you. Ladies, it's time to play the long, smart game. Get somebody with potential who likes you. He may be corny. He may not have it all. But guess what? Y'all can grow together. And you'll be looking back and you'll thank me later. Okay? This is the year to get a corny man.
Now, I also wanted to say this as well and give my 2 cents again on this particular topic. Now, whether you knows it or not, fellas, am I right or wrong? It's always the older women around her age bracket that decide to use the setup for the corny dude, the corny brother. And it's usually also in most instances, usually when they have been ran through, when out of wedlock kids, may have out of wedlock kids or may be a divorcee with kids from a previous marriage that didn't work out. Also, they wait. Usually, this also goes to show you by this being, once again, a woman, a beautiful sister, by the way, who happens to be no younger than 47 years of age, of how they usually wait. Some black women, not most of them, but some black women, until they have hit the wall, until their sexual value, to put it another way, has usually declined, before they start selling for that brother that's ambitious, that wants something out of life, that brother who's never ever been in trouble with the law, that same brother who has the career making around 100,000, between 100,000 to 200,000 a year. The same brother who is highly educated, who is well spoken, who carries himself in such a dignified and upstanding manner, who dresses more dignified without having to sag his pants, his jeans, doesn't speak a lot of hood lingo. That's when some of you sisters, once again, usually decide to settle for that brother. In some instances, the quiet and introverted brother. And I guarantee you, when this sister was around in her teens, 20s, she wasn't studying no corny man. I'm trying to say, no lame, as some of you sisters used to consider those kind of guys. In some instances, educated lames, especially if they may be a brother that may happen to be a college education or an educated brother that's making, once again, between 100 to 200,000, in some instances even 300,000 a year. I'm telling you, black women are so screwed up to it's ridiculous, to the point where it's no hope for a lot of y'all black women, due to how y'all decide to always, and I will not quit stressing this, I don't care how you feel, how offended you may be, y'all pick some of the most worst, toxic, dysfunctional, lowest of the totem pole men that use to decide to settle, to be in long-term relationships with these same men that you in one breath complain about, but then in another breath you like to brag about them whenever they may, quote unquote, go upside your head or abuse you. For some of you who may want more elaboration what I mean by going upside your head, the same kind of guys that usually, in most cases, are either mentally abusing you, verbally abusing you, or physically abusing you. In most cases, all of the above. Those are the same guys who you decide to, in most cases, also get pregnant by, only to regret getting pregnant with those guys, and then all of a sudden wanting that upstanding, more dignified brother, that guy that's usually the brother who you wouldn't get the time of day if you didn't have your kids by either a Pookie, a Ray Ray, or Nook, or a Dirty D Rodder. Anyways, I've already said a mouthful. If I end the video, make sure you like the video, share, comment, last not least, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, you guys have